They say time flies when you're having fun, or in this case, when your daily driver of choice is the S23 Ultra. It's been a bit over 30 days now since I ditched my iPhone 14 Pro Max for the S23 Ultra, and here's how my experience has been thus far. How's it going, everyone? My name is RJ, and in this video I want to break down my experience after switching over to the S23 Ultra full-time from an iPhone. This is probably like my 5th video on this phone in under a month. So as you guys can clearly tell, I do love this phone, and it seems like a lot of you guys watching these videos also love this phone. I'll continue to keep making weekly videos on the S23 Ultra, so make sure you guys do subscribe if you do want to follow along my journey after switching over from an iPhone to the S23 Ultra as my daily driver. Honestly, I did not expect the transition to be this smooth. I figured that there would be a few hiccups during the initial adjustment process, but to my surprise, everything about this phone has been smooth sailing. You see, I don't say this lightly. The S23 Ultra is hands down the best phone ever made. It doesn't really lack in any department per se. The cameras are stellar, the display is one of the very best in the market, and this design, man, this design is just something else. It's such an aesthetically pleasing device to interact with on a daily basis. So if you find yourself on the verge of leaving your iPhone behind to daily drive an S23 Ultra, then this video may help sway you in the right direction. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone 14 Pro Max is an excellent device. After all, this is a phone made by Apple. But the thing is, Apple has become stagnant. They've sort of lost the plot. And when you try to market the same phone over and over again as brand new each and every single year, people are eventually going to start to catch on. And they will end up doing exactly what I did, and that is transition from an iPhone to an Android. I'm not saying that Apple is on the brink of bankruptcy here, because clearly Samsung has made the better phone. But what I am saying is that the rampant customer base is starting to get a bit restless. I mean, if you want to talk about innovation, Samsung is on their 4th generation of foldables. Meanwhile, Apple is yet to release even one foldable device. I mean, you can say whatever you want about foldable devices, but at the end of the day, it's something different from what we're normally accustomed to. And a foldable iPhone, in my opinion, would sell like hotcakes. Just to give you guys sort of a perspective, that's how far behind Apple has really fallen off, at least in terms of innovation. Now, in my experience, leaving the iPhone behind itself wasn't that hard. There's really nothing aside from AirDrop and haptics that the iPhone honestly does better than the S23 Ultra. But when we're talking about the Apple ecosystem as a whole, then we have a problem. You see, I was sucked into the Apple ecosystem. They don't get you with just the iPhone. They get you with the whole package. I own an Apple Watch Ultra, I own the AirPods Pro Gen 2, I have a MacBook Pro, and I also have an iPad Pro, along with a few AirTags. Samsung also has their own ecosystem. But the thing is, I love smartwatches, and the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro isn't the best smartwatch on the market. That title, in my opinion, clearly belongs to the Apple Watch Ultra. And there is no way I'm ever leaving my MacBook to go work on a PC. All of my editing and creative work for this channel is done on Final Cut Pro, which is only available for MacBooks. So now the question becomes, if I'm not willing to completely leave the Apple ecosystem, can I still use the S23 Ultra as my smartphone of choice and get by? I will answer that question after a message from today's sponsor, UPDF, a complete PDF editor that supports reading, annotating, editing, converting, and organizing PDFs. This is a seriously impressive piece of software that's perfect for businesses, academics, and professionals alike. One of the standout features of UPDF is their stunning user interface, which is both whimsical and powerful. You can edit, annotate, and convert PDF files with ease. And the resource-light nature of the software means that you can process heavy workflows without a problem. Plus, the intuitive controls make it easy to learn with a near zero learning curve. But that's not all. With UPDF, you can encrypt PDFs with a password, flatten PDFs, fill out PDF forms, and even combine PDF and image files into a single PDF file. Overall, I'm seriously impressed with UPDF. It's fast, powerful, and intuitive. So if you're looking for a new PDF editor, I highly do recommend giving UPDF a try. You can find it by just using the link in the description below. And for just watching this video, you'll be getting a 50% discount code off your entire purchase. And thanks to UPDF for sponsoring this video. So in my experience thus far, using the S23 Ultra alongside my MacBook Pro and my iPad Pro has been completely fine. I did end up ditching my Apple Watch Ultra for this Fitbit Lux. It's a pretty solid fitness tracker with close to 5 days of battery life. I also like this because it's less intrusive than my Apple Watch Ultra, meaning that it doesn't interfere with my workouts with accidental presses because it's too big for my wrists. Overall, the Fitbit Lux has been a solid option, really no complaints. Now, as a creative on YouTube, I do transfer a lot of photos and videos from my phone to my MacBook MacBook Pro. And for that, AirDrop is hands down the king. So naturally, now that I do use an Android device, I did have to find a solid alternative. I recently discovered an app called Snapdrop, and it's done a pretty good job of filling in the void for AirDrop. That is though whenever it decides it wants to work. When it works, it's been fantastic. The problem is that sometimes it just doesn't work. It's been pretty hit or miss in that sense. With that being said though, I haven't ever felt the need to go back to my iPhone simply because the S23 Ultra doesn't cohesively work with other products in the Apple ecosystem. I'm doing just fine a month later. The only real issue has been not having AirDrop. I've been saying this since day one. Performance on the S23 Ultra is stellar. It's one of, if not the smoothest phones I have ever used. And just recently, a YouTuber by the name of In-Depth Tech Reviews took my claims a bit further and tested the S23 Ultra's thermals alongside that of Apple's A16 Bionic chipset. In a very surprising turn of events, the S23 Ultra outperformed Apple's very own Bionic chipset. The iPhone 14 Pro Max in his testing began to throttle and lag while gaming and running other apps simultaneously in the background. Meanwhile, the S23 Ultra had no issues whatsoever. This, my friends, is a testament to the significant leap Samsung made in the performance department this year. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset is no joke. This is by far one of the most efficient chipsets we have ever seen. One of the most underrated moves this year by Samsung was putting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset in S23 Ultra devices across the world, no matter what region. So everyone this year across the board got the same experience, which is what they should have done with the S22 Ultra. All of my friends in Europe were telling me that the S22 Ultra was trash. That is of course with Exynos, but I never understood what they meant. Being based in Canada, I was only exposed to the Snapdragon variant of the S22 Ultra. This led to a lot of mixed messages regarding the S22 Ultra. This year it's different. Samsung delivered a smartphone experience we can all rave about for years to come. I haven't noticed a single lag, jitter, or even a frame drop while gaming in a bit over a month now. I've never experienced anything like that before on any Android device. And the thing that really irks me about Apple is the iPhone has so much power. The A16 Bionic is one hell of a chipset. You can even call Apple's Bionic chipsets revolutionary. But realistically, what can we even do with all of this power? The iPhone can't multitask. It doesn't allow for customization. It's just overpowered for no real good reason. With the S23 Ultra, you can actually take advantage of all of this efficiency, power, and RAM. This phone is pretty capable of multitasking, and I multitask all the time on this phone. Usually I have the calculator app open on the bottom along with the Amazon shopping app on top, figuring out if I have enough money in my bank account to buy all of this expensive tech gear to keep my channel going. But you guys get the point. True multitasking on a smartphone is actually really useful, especially considering all of this screen real estate. In my opinion, Apple completely dropped the ball on the multitasking front. Something else that I noticed that no one really is talking about is the signal strength and reception. At the end of the day, this is a phone. I feel like a lot of us tend to forget that from time to time. But what I've come to notice is that the signal strength on this phone is better than what I was getting on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. A lot of the times I would notice significant battery drain from my iPhone simply because my iPhone was fighting so hard to get a better signal strength. But on my S23 Ultra, I'm noticing better reception and I'm seeing more signal bars in areas that I do frequent often. One of my good friends, you guys probably all know him, Siobhan was saying in one of his videos that he's able to get reception in his condo's elevator, which he was never able to get before on his iPhone. So if you're looking for a phone with better signal strength and reception from an iPhone, the S23 Ultra is the phone that I would recommend. A narrative that I want to see gone is the claim that apps are better optimized on an iPhone. I really wanted to get to the bottom of this and truly experience for myself if this claim was indeed true. What I can say is, after 30 days on the S23 Ultra, there is no noticeable difference in app optimization when compared to an iPhone. All of my regular apps work just as well, if not better, on the S23 Ultra. Yes, that even includes social media apps. I record content, I upload content, and I consume content, all of this on the S23 Ultra. Whether that be YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, my experience has not been any worse on the Ultra. I just want to make this video to give you guys an update on things that I have noticed with the Ultra. I am loving this phone. There's no way I'm switching back to an iPhone anytime soon. If you guys want to see more in-depth reviews on this phone, I will leave links to reviews I've already made on this channel. And I will continue to keep making content on this phone every now and then, just to keep you guys informed on all of my thoughts and opinions and to see if it does really change over time. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you made it till the end of this video, as always, drop a dolphin emoji down in the comments below so I know exactly who my true supporters are. As always, thank you so much for watching and don't forget to flex with your tech.